Hi, I'm Emily Webb Olson, and today I'm going to talk to you about a book. Um, I love books. I tend to refer my clients to books all the time. I feel like books can really help you kind of go on a little bit of a deeper level. You're going to be reading it with your own eyes, with your own thought process, and it allows you to just kind of take, you know, information in and processing it and then bringing it back to the session. One of the best books that I've found for for communication, right? People are often coming to see me because they're struggling with communicating their thoughts and feelings to their partners, to their loved ones, to work colleagues, to whoever it is, right? Whoever they're having trouble with communication with. And one of the ways of being able to figure out how to communicate is figuring out what we're feeling and what we're thinking and how to express it to other people. So the first step is identifying what we feel or what we're thinking. And that can be a big challenge. A lot of people struggle with that. In this book, in the book Atlas of the Heart by Brené Brown, she talks about how most adults can really only name 5 emotions. People typically come in and say like, oh, I just don't feel good, or I feel anxious, or I feel depressed, right? So we have like those buzzwords or those words, but really like to the depth of it, it's really difficult for us to kind of talk about. So again, in the book, she breaks it down into different places that we go, and then so it'll be different umbrellas with different emotions that are attached to it. And then it labels it in other different ways. With the book, she talks about sometimes emotions, we may have the wrong thought in our mind, right? So she talks about the difference between shame and guilt, which can be really helpful too, because I think a lot of times people, kind of misuse those two terms. She also talks about, anguish, right? Anguish is such a different word than sad. When we come in and we just say, I'm sad, right? But think about how much more depth and connection can come when you say, I am anguished, right? Like the heartbreak, the utter just heartbreak of anguish is so much different than sad, right? So if you're wanting to communicate, if you're wanting to just learn your emotions, like, instead of just the emotion wheel that you see, or the, like, I don't know, there's like the little faces, right, with the different emotions, like, get this book, right? Because she's going to go into depth of the different emotions, and you might learn some different emotions than you thought of before. All right. Thank you.